How's it? Today is Friday, September 3rd, and it's Jiwon's last day at the gym. So, I mean, it doesn't mean anything necessarily for me as far as my programming goes, but it does mean that my sort of training partner will no longer be training with me, which is pretty sad, but it's okay. Today's goal was to hit last week's numbers at least once, ideally a few times, but at least once. And I did hit the 215 once. I had two fails, a make, and then an interesting fail. So I missed it three times out of four times, four attempts. And then I actually, even though the note says 280, I tried 285 for the clean and jerk today. I tried it twice and I failed both of the cleans. I don't fail cleans very often, almost ever. I think the last time I failed a clean was maybe in May, and before that was maybe in May of last year. Like I don't fail cleans. Those are lifts that if I'm attempting that lift, there is a high likelihood that I already have it in my head that I'm gonna make the lift, and so execution is sort of an afterthought at that point. Whereas for the snatch, I miss the snatch quite frequently. I mean, it's not a good thing that that happens for my snatch, but it does happen, and the level of consistency I have for the clean is a lot higher, or at least level of consistency of makes. I think the technique itself, I'm more consistent on the snatch, to be honest. Uh, all that's to say is that the way I clean is sort of all over the place, but no matter how I do it, I usually do not miss. And it happened today twice. So I'm not sure how it's gonna be moving forward. What I'm gonna do next week, or what I'm gonna do on Wednesday of next week. But yeah. So these snatch warm ups actually felt pretty solid. I was trying my best to focus on what I was focusing on Monday, which was to just push my legs rather than really anything else in the lift. I did have this weird fail, which I don't know what happened there. I think I was just extremely distracted with people walking in front of me, which it's weird because people walk in front of me and there's nothing to walk in front of me over there for. There is a wall. Do you see where the wall is here behind me to my left here? It's the same height. So it's the same distance on the other side. So I don't know what people are doing on the other side. There's nothing to do there. There is a little machine there, but it's out of line of sight. So I don't know. You can see I'm still salty about what happened last week. But here are my attempts at 215. First two fails is the only make I have. It's pretty good, uh, given how much I failed and how much I failed last week. And then here is my fourth attempt here, which I don't. I was talking about how I don't fail on cleans. I also don't fail behind for snatch. I'm terrified of failing behind for snatch. I vividly remember the last time I failed behind on my snatch, and it was at standard strength in November of last year. And then that sort of brought back a lot of the elbow issues that I was dealing with for a few years. It was the first moment, it was the first time where I had those onset of symptoms all over again. And so, that is the reason why I don't like failing behind. If at all possible, I don't ever give myself the chance to do so, which is probably bad as far as like overall technique. Uh, yeah, overall technique. Here's my last warm up set before my first fail on the 285 clean. This 255 clean was pretty solid, and this jerk was pretty solid too. I stood there for a very long time, and I was very lightheaded, but it turned out okay. I got spit out. I can confidently say I don't think that's ever happened to me up until today. That's definitely happened to me in the past. But once that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna try even to do anything else here. I'm just gonna move on to front squats. One thing to note about today's session in general is that my calf, like my outside of my left calf, the lateral, uh, yeah, lateral side of my left leg, has been hurting quite a bit. Um, it's a 0th of 3 sets here because I was actually not sure if I was going to be able to do 3 sets of 3 here. But I did that first set or the first rep just to do a feeler, and yeah, I was able to do all 3 sets of 3, which is three. It's a 1 set of 1 and then 3 sets of 3, so 10 total reps at 295, which is the weight that I was supposed to redo last week, but I gave up last week. I was extremely habut last week, so sad boy times, whatever. But yeah, going back to what I was saying was that the outside of my left calf has been hurting quite a bit. It's been getting worse over the week. It feels like shin splints, but like shin splints are usually medial of the leg, so medial like on the inside of your leg where the tibia is and where your tibialis muscle is, but it's sort of anterior, sorry, not anterior, lateral for me on my calf. It feels like exact same sensation, but on the lateral side. We'll see what happens next week and how it feels when I actually back squat. But I'm getting worried about it. So, yeah, I think the biggest thing is that it hurts a lot when I'm at work. And I hope it is something akin to shin splints rather than like a stress fracture or what have you. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Shoots.